It's early on Sunday morning again. Oh, there goes a galah. And I think the last time I did a video was about 2 weeks ago, and things have changed a lot since then. So if we come over here, in the middle of this little garden here, we had a baby bay laurel, and it was hit very badly by the frost, as you can see by all of those leaves sitting there. And we were about to pull it out yesterday when we noticed a tiny little bit of green down the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but it is there, and we're hoping that it will come back. So we gave it a little bit of a haircut. Probably shouldn't have yet, because we still will get some more frost, but it may come back, and we're very hopeful. We had some frost earlier this week, and in this garden bed here on the left we had planted cucumbers and zucchinis and pumpkins, and they're all gone. So I guess we learned something. Don't plant them out too early. It's said that we will still get frost till Melbourne Cup Day, which for those of you who aren't Australian is the first Tuesday in November. Yeah, so I guess we just have to be more careful. Over here are our radishes, and they have not been affected by the frost. So yeah, putting some things in's okay. They've been there probably for about a month or two now, and they're looking reasonably good. As we continue over here, those birds are very noisy this morning. We've been nursing our Kiwiberry plant, which is this little thing on the left here, through frosts by putting hay around it to protect it, and it really doesn't seem to have gone very well. So we did buy an actual Kiwiberry plant, which we planted next to it. As we don't expect the first one to survive, we've got a new one. But given what we've just seen on our bay tree, it's possible that that one might survive. I don't know. There are good things about buying things bare root, and there are things that are not so helpful. So we've got this one, and hopefully that one will survive. It looks much more healthy. It looks healthier than the other one ever has, because, well, we got that one as a bare root one. And as we come up here, we had planted beans in here. And then we had the frost, and now we don't have beans. So I don't think they're going to survive. They're looking very, very sad along there. I have some more already growing in the little greenhouse that we have. Not because I expected these ones to get killed by the frost, but because I just wanted to put some more in. So anyway, these ones will be now replaced, I guess. Coming over here to our grape, which we've been following the progress of, we can now see that the grape is fine. It has some green leaves, and it's been absolutely fascinating to see it come alive. So see these, it'd be really nice if it actually went into focus, little bud things here. Oh, come on, focus. No, it doesn't want to. Little buds like that. They have been sitting there since, well, the end of last season, and then I just noticed that some of them were starting to swell, like this one down here. Oh, come on, come into focus. You are ridiculous. Anyway, it starts to swell. It looks a bit soft looking. And then eventually it gets a bit bigger and a bit bigger and comes out, and that's where the leaves are. So it's been fascinating seeing this plant coming alive, because we've never had a grapevine before. We've never had it winter and then come alive again in spring. So it's been great. Really enjoyed seeing this, and just the hope that it would come alive, and now we know that it has. So I'm looking forward to seeing that develop further. And that's the case with so much in this garden. We've never done this before. We don't know how things look and when they're going to start to come out, but they do. And see here, this is, oh, you're not going to focus either. Come on. It's not my day. Okay, so here, I'm trying to focus on my finger instead. No, it doesn't want to. Okay, we've got flower buds on this apple tree here. We've got new leaves coming as well, and it's just really exciting to see as they change over time. We've planted some more of the extra things in this bed as well. So there's 2 globe artichokes there at the front. There's some comfrey here and some strawberries. So we want things that will confuse the pests. So this is a curry plant, so it will give off smells that hopefully will confuse codling moths around our apples, and the strawberries will act as a ground cover, and it just seemed like a good place to put some globe artichokes as well, and the comfrey will draw nutrients up. So we'll keep adding small plants into beds like these. Way over the other side there are some small, I think there might be some alyssum or something rather like that. Oh yeah, there's some down here too, which you probably can't see because they're so insignificant you really can't tell. But they are there, and hopefully they will grow up as well and, you know, bring pollinators. Then in these beds here, we've had a few things change. Obviously we've got lots of leaves happening on some of these, and if you come in close and if it actually bothers to focus, there is also buds. There are buds on some of the plants as well, which is exciting because that means the promise of fruit. And then here, up here in the middle, we have a young berry, which we're still not expecting anything to happen from. It got hit by frost quite a number of times, and it tried to live, and we don't think it has. So we replaced that with a plant that we bought as well, and that is going to be a lot more successful. So pretty much everything else except the one sylvan berry over in the middle there has done something. It has not. Well, it tried and then it failed. These were some raspberry cuttings that my husband got at his permaculture course, and we don't exactly know what they are. One of them seems to be going okay, one of them previously did and then stopped. So that might be an autumn bliss, it might be a nutpa, it could be one of each, but it looks like at least one of them's going to survive, so that's nice. Then here we've got the blackberries. There's one up there as well, and they are starting to show some new growth, which is really exciting. They've started putting on green leaves rather than the reddish ones. The reddish ones protect from the frost, and the green ones are the newer growth. And so yeah, there's lots of new growth on these. Not all of the sticks that we put in will have survived the frost, but most of them have. And you can also see down the bottom here, there's some new growth just coming up of its own accord, which is really wonderful because that'll mean new bits. We've continued putting the battens on our hoop houses, and we've got this one goes down the hill, so we've also got some wire that's going to stop the whole thing from sliding down the hill, well, the top of it anyway. So we're slowly working on that, and we've had a fair bit of wind recently which has stopped us from doing that sort of thing, but we will get back to it and we'll get the nets on these hoop houses eventually. Our northern high bush blueberries, which are in the top row here, are doing really well. They've got lots of flowers, and I think they've got some fruit developing slowly. And this is the row here with our southern high bush and rabbit eye varieties, and they've been quite static, not really doing very much at all. But just this last week, we've started to see new growth, the little red bits on this one here. And then this one here, which I was really concerned might have died, and that's why it's got its guard around it, has got new growth down the bottom as well. So I'm really pleased that that one hasn't died. It looks like a collection of sticks, but there's still some life in it. So we'll just leave them there and they'll do their own thing. The reason why they've had so much trouble is because it's very frosty here, and these are for a warmer climate. So it was a bit of an experiment to see whether they would work. So it's still an experiment, but hopefully these ones will make it through, which is great. I'll just pop that back on. Come on, go in. Just put the camera down while I do that. Right, sorry about that. And it's back on. And then this one here, this one's never looked particularly unwell, but it's got new growth as well, which is great. Then if we come along over here to our persimmon tree, now this is one that I really wanted to survive because it wasn't cheap. Persimmons are often quite expensive because of the way they're grafted, and their roots are often quite tricky. And it has survived. It's got lovely new growth, so I'm really thrilled that that one made it through the winter. And then this is part of our big job yesterday. We've got rain coming in the next few days, up to 100 mils, which is probably between a sixth and a seventh of our annual rainfall here. I mean, we may not get it all, but we could get up to that much amount. And so we thought it was a good chance with the weather warming up to actually get some more of our windbreak in. So so there were only a couple of things in this section that were planted in before, and we put them all in yesterday. Now we need a whole heap more mulch, but we're running out. So we've just put it around the plants at this stage, and we'll cover over the rest of it in time when we get some more. So there are ebbing silverberries here. That's that one there. Over in the back, the whole row is old man saltbush. They look pretty dreadful, but they should start to improve in appearance. This one is a Hakea salicifolia, and that gives lovely flowers, which brings bees and native birds. This is our smoke bush, which is continuing to leaf up. That one's been in there for a while. Another ebbing silverberry. In here we have an acacia fimbriata. We've had some experiences with our acacias being killed by the frost, so we're just being really careful with them and putting the guards around them. This is one of the ebbing silverberries that's just been in a lot longer, so it had a guard around it because it was here in much colder weather. Then there's a westringia, so that will attract birds and bees and butterflies as well in time. And then further down there's some big ones. There's a big Hakea, that's the greenish big one. Once that's settled in and we've stopped having frost, I'll give that one a trim to help it to bush up a bit. And behind that there is a purple hopbush, which is the reddish looking one down near the gate. And same with that, that's been growing for quite some time just in a pot. And once it's settled in, I'll give it a trim as well to help it bush up a bit. So we've tried to make our windbreak really useful and full of diverse things as well. So it's mostly evergreen. There are a couple like the smoke bush, and there will be some other smoke bushes further down eventually, which are deciduous. And then there are some like the westringia here, which is always going to be quite light. It's not going to be a dense plant. And so yeah, we've got them all for different reasons. Some of them, such as the ebbing silverberries and the acacias, are nitrogen fixing. The acacias are really only short-term plants of maybe 5 to 7 years. So I'll probably propagate some photinia because we've got that further down the hedge that it was already there. I'll put that in when those ones die out. That's the plan there. And then this is the other main part that we did yesterday, which is planting out into the food forest, which is something we've been waiting to do for ages, but it just hasn't been warm enough. We still get too many frosts, and we didn't want to put these plants in jeopardy. Now all of these plants, and I've just been swooped by that magpie, which I'm not very happy about. We've been offering it our mice. I want to live in harmony with you. Please don't swoop me. We will give you more mice when we have them, but I didn't have any today, okay? So the mouse plague is back, and we're giving it our mice, but it's obviously not happy with me because I haven't had one for it today. I felt that as it flew over my head, the wind. Anyway, back to the plants. So we've got some correas, we've got some mint bushes, native mint bushes. We planted Tasmanian pepperberries. There's an elderberry which is looking a little bit sad, half of it, but some of it's looking okay, so we might keep all of that, or some of it. Up the back there is a macadamia, there's some wormwood, there's 2 olive trees, there's a locust tree. Sorry, I just flinched then because the magpie flew off and I didn't know if it was coming towards me. And there's acacias. There will be more to go in, but we haven't got everything yet because some of the things that we want to put in are not very frost tolerant. All of these ones are, but that frost tolerant doesn't really kick in till they're established, and these aren't established yet, so we're going to have to be continuing to be careful with them. So lots been happening here. We've been dealing with being swooped with the magpies and trying to stop that from happening by offering them the mice that we can catch. These are our potatoes here, and they've been hit by frost, but they'll probably be fine. We had them cover over with frost cloth, which will have helped a bit, but wasn't enough, and we knew it wouldn't be enough, but at least it helps. And then the trees in the orchard are starting to come out into leaf and blossom, which is really lovely. The things that we need to continue to work on in the next little while are getting the wires up for our espaliers, because the apple and pear trees are starting to come out into leaf, and so we really need to get onto them. It hasn't really been that much of a priority previously. And the other thing is getting our nets up over our hoop houses so that those plants can be protected from fruit fly. So they're pretty much the main things that we've done in the last little while. It's lovely to see the garden coming alive, and we're looking forward to the rain over the next few days so that these plants can all settle in and be happy here with us.